he's a teacher in Ireland, and he wanted to know how we could create a sustainable community for Kinsale. He couldn't find a blueprint, so he and his class created one, the first transition initiative. And these transition initiatives are created to deal with the big three challenges of our time: peak oil, economic downturn, and global warming. And transition initiatives are created to deal with all of these. This is peak oil. The cheap stuff ended in 2006. We've been on a downward slope since. And these are all the processes in our society that are dependent upon cheap oil. So we have to figure out a way to do something about it. Now, peak oil also affects our household economies, whether it's our disposable incomes or our debt obligations. And as you can see, it really reflects on how we can get by in the world. Now, another way to think of peak oil is as a thermostat. As the temperature rises in your house, the thermostat reaches a certain point and it shuts down. When oil reaches a certain price, the economy shuts down. And this is the effect, an economic downturn. Transition towns exist to soften the blow and make towns resilient in the face of this kind of downturn. Something else they do is help the average citizen or community deal with global warming. Droughts, floods, storms, these things affect all of us, but we can also have our own effect on all of them. So what can we do? We can stick our heads in the sand, or we can be a deer in the headlights, but neither of these really do anything for us. The one thing we can do is become resilient and adaptable. Like a chameleon or a rubber band that takes a shock and keeps bouncing back from it. It's a quote from Charles Darwin. It's not the strongest of the species that survives, but nor the most intelligent, but the one that is most adaptable to change. And this is what it looks like. It starts with an initiating group, a group of concerned citizens who want to do something about these problems. And it moves on to a great unleashing, where we've got enough people in the community that are interested in doing something about it. And they do. This is a picture of Transition Cornwall. You've got your initiating group up there in one corner, and they're showing the film In Transition, getting the community informed about what's going on. And after you've got enough people on your project, you have a party or a parade. Having a sustainable and prosperous community is something worth celebrating, don't you think? And these are just a sample of the kind of folks that can make up a transition initiative. Anybody in the community that's interested in sustainability and resilience and having a prosperous community can contribute. Local food, this is kind of an area that I'm really involved with community gardens. But local food makes up the very base of a strong, sustainable community. Another area that we can take care of right here in Chatham-Kent, local energy. Wind, solar, switchgrass, geothermal, we can take care of these sustainably right here in Chatham-Kent. Local transportation. I talked about the end of cheap energy. These are some of the options that we have available to us here in Chatham-Kent, whether it's river traffic, or trains, or walkable communities, or bicycles. All realizable goals. Transition initiatives work closely with the business community. Local commerce and industry is a big part of transitioning to a sustainable and prosperous community. And transition initiatives have a lot of tools in their toolbox to that end. And what's the result? EDAPtion. Essentially an energy descent action plan that creates prosperity in the community while creating sustainability at the same time. That's how you get in touch with me. I'm not the greatest speaker, but I'll come and talk with you if you like. There's our email. We do have a Facebook page if you want to check us out that way. There is the In Transition film, so if you want to see it, just let me know and I'll come and talk to you.